Well, Aaron, first against seconds at the World of Smile Stadium. It couldn't be set up better for a mouth-watering game, could it?
Yeah, exactly. It's looking like it'll be a good game. They're a tough team. We played them earlier on in the season, so we've got a bit of an idea of what we're up against. It wasn't too long ago, so it looks like it should be a good game for everyone. If the weather holds off, we should be in for a nice match and a really good match for the county.
Yeah, I'd just like to go back to pre-season, and I think you were the first player in, or one of the first or second player that Gary signed in the summer, weren't you?
Yeah,
you first in. And he's just said he's not really surprised by how well it's gone this season, but he's very pleased. So when he signed you, what did he tell you about his vision? Because he's built this team virtually from scratch at that point, didn't he?
Yeah, but I don't think it's the first time he's done that, but I think, he's an experienced manager and he knows what he wants and he knows what will get him out of this league. And, I'm just glad that, he brought me in to be a part of it because, what he sees is us getting promoted and he tells us that regularly and promotes that amongst the group, so it gives us that confidence. And his recruitment in the summer was very good, and it's going to plan so far, but we've still got to be careful that we don't get too carried away and think that after 21 games we're there, because a lot of football needs to be played still. We're going to come up against some tough tests, Saturday being one of them. So we need to make sure that we stay focused and stay concentrated and don't get too carried away. Keep our feet on the ground, but enjoy it while we're at the top, because if you can't enjoy it now, then when can you enjoy it? So it's going well, but we just need to make sure that we continue that and carry it on and don't get too carried away.
Yeah, I know you've been in teams that have done well in divisions before, but have you ever been in a team where you sort of feel you have to get promoted? It's the obvious aim right from the start of the season is you're expected almost to get promoted.
There's that pressure there. I've been involved before, definitely. I mean, last year at Torquay there was the pressure that we had to go up, or things, ramifications were going to happen, and unfortunately you see what has happened at that club there, and the manager leaving, another manager coming in and then leaving, so that chop and change and that uncertainty financially around the club as well. So I do understand the ramifications of what happens if you don't, if you're not successful in your first season. So I definitely understand, and I know the magnitude of the job, and I feel we're in a good place and a good position as a club to go on and do well this season. But it's, like I say, we have to err on the side of caution as well, that we don't get too carried away and think that we've done it already. So making sure we're working hard every day in training, and enjoying that pressure that comes with needing promotion, needing a successful season. And I think so far the lads have dealt with it really well, and they're exceeding probably expectations, I think, a little bit, but we're on track to where we want to be. So we're enjoying it at the minute, and we're playing some good stuff, and we're enjoying being at the top. And it's a case of once you get to the top, you work hard to get there, and you've got to work even harder to stay there, as the cliche goes.
Everyone would have seen the progress on the pitch this season, and I'm sure all the fans have enjoyed the football that's been played, but your video diary gave an insight into the team off the pitch, and like you said, Gary's built a team from anything before. So has that been an important part, do you think, of the success this season, the friendships, the camaraderie, and do you think that can give you the edge when it comes down
massive.
to the crunch?
And the manager knew that, bringing in, he didn't just go out and sign good players, he signed good people, as well as good players. He has brought in some talented footballers, but he had interviews and meetings with people before we signed them. It wasn't a case of come and sign for the club and then we'll get to know you. He got to know them, then sign them. And if he didn't like that person as a person, as good as a footballer they are, they weren't going to fit into his ethos. So I've learnt a lot, from that. But the players that we have here they're all friends that you could go and have a cup of coffee with after training. No problem, every single one of them. There's not one there that I wouldn't feel comfortable having around my house, and having a meal or going for a coffee, like I said. So we're all mates. We're all really enjoying it, and it makes it easier when you are winning, because when you're winning, then you can enjoy yourself a lot more, and you're not miserable because you've lost, because no one likes losing. So it's a snowball effect that's happening at the minute. We've got good friendships, good camaraderie, and we're winning. So everything off the pitch is a lot happier. So coming into the training ground, we can play ping pong or pool, and we can sit down and have a cup of coffee in the morning. The lads want to get in at 9 o'clock, they don't want to leave till 3 o'clock. We're getting in early, so it makes it a lot easier, and therefore, you see that on the pitch as well, because you're willing to work that extra yard, because the bloke next to you wants to do that for you as well, because we're all good mates. So, credit's got to go to the manager there, and also to the players for being good blokes.
Yeah, and I'm sure the manager will quite have liked the fact that you really didn't want to come off against Southport, because I'm sure you understood the reasons why you were taken off, but he obviously had Saturday in mind. So what was that like? Because obviously you wanted to carry on and play your part in a great performance.
I don't want to go on about it too much. I want to play every minute of every game. That's what's built in me. But I totally understand the manager's decision, and absolutely was the correct decision. At the time, maybe vented a little bit of frustration, which is unprofessional, and I apologise to the manager for that, because it's a team game, not an individual one. So I can't let my individual emotions get involved in a team performance, which shouldn't have. But it was the right decision, and I'm glad that he has brought me off, because it gives me the opportunity to play on Saturday. There was nothing involved. It was just a case of, I wanted to play longer. It's just how I am, unfortunately. Can't help it.
Yeah. So any chance you get to have a weekend off, for example, if you'd have been rested for the cup games, or if you've been rested for the trophy games to come, you will want to play every single minute of every game.
Oh yeah. I'm a footballer. I don't want to. I want to play football. I want to play games, and it doesn't matter if it's against a friendly dog and duck team, or if it's against the best. You want to play every single match, and that's what I'm paid to do by the football club, to play football. So I want to play every game that I'm available to, and I'm going to try and keep my nose clean as long as possible, and not get that 5th yellow card, so I can play as many games when selected.
Yeah, and the final thing I'd like to ask you about, Aaron, is the flexibility within the team at the moment, because Forest Green have tinkered around with their formation a few times, and how important is that you can change almost a few times in each half what formation you're actually playing?
We're lucky like that. We've got players that can fill in numerous roles. We've got a structured shape that we start from, but football, you can't be rigid in football. It's got to be quite. You have to be flexible as a team and as a player. And when people say, "Oh, you're starting as a 4-4-2 or a 3-5-2 or 4-3-3," that's a starting position as a shape. You throughout a match, you will end up in different positions, and it's about how quickly, when you lose the ball, getting back into that structured shape to start with. But we might start as a 4-4-2, end up through our attacking flair as a 3-5-2, because we want to get forward, want the fullbacks to go forward, we want players to influence the game. And sometimes, if you're not influencing the game positively, you have to change and get the team to work, so you're getting your important players involved. And sometimes that means changing the shape during a game. But as far as a defensive shape, it's been quite the same throughout the whole season. It's just when we attack, sometimes we have that freedom of play amongst the players to go and express themselves, and that doesn't necessarily mean you're playing left wing. You can end up alongside Righty up front. Not that me and Pars are going to go play up against Righty alongside Righty, but the structure's there, and then we've got that flexibility to change it as and when we need. And like I say, the managers talked us through that in training, and it gives us that flexibility that sometimes other teams aren't sure how to deal with, and it gives us that flexibility to deal with their strengths as well during a match, because if things aren't going right, if you're stuck in a 4-4-2 and things aren't going well for you and you're losing 2-0, then all of a sudden you do need to do something, so we're able to change. If you just stay as a 4-4-2 through all the game, well, then you're going to lose the game. So that's credit to the manager that he's allowed us and coached us into being flexible in our position and in our strength, in our shape.
Brilliant. Cheers, Danzy.
Perfect.
Thanks very much.
Rambled on a little bit there.